schools. And he actually took me out a couple of times to meet people, and he took me to some events that he sponsors, and just really got me out there. We know that one of them was connected with a police department and took some of the Freedom Riders out on ride-alongs so they could see what's really going on in the community, what the police is doing to support the cause, so that the streets are safer. And so there was a lot of opportunities for us to really connect. There was universities and colleges as well, so we met people from colleges and universities. And
was that a part of college preparation?
Both.
Okay.
Both. One of them was for higher education, and some for college preparation. The college preparation, it was Big Daddy, right? We'll keep his name at that. But he was very supportive. He came into the picture, and for those that were not prepared to go to a four-year university, he kind of took us in under his wing and really made sure that we were ready for at least to go to Long Beach City College. And then while we were at Long Beach City College, he constantly monitored our progress and made sure that we were on the game plan so that we were able to leave Long Beach City College and transfer to a CSU. And I think he was one of the reasons why I was able to get into Cal State Long Beach, was through his support, because he kept me in line. He really guided me, and he knew when my grades were starting to slip, and he was on track. He really did what he was supposed to be doing.
Did you understand the importance and benefits of meeting these people?
I think initially, no. I mean, it was kind of like being that I never knew anybody who was wealthy or had some sort of connection or that was, had the hookups. To me, it was like whatever. I was never starstruck. So anybody that was there to help me, I wouldn't know if they were really there to help me or not. To me, it was just another human being. But as I got older and started seeing the opportunities that it might create in my life, that's when I started seeing the importance of networking. And that's when I personally began to learn how to network myself.
When you say getting older, is that out of high school or still during high school?
It was out of high school.
Out of high school. Did she prepare you before interacting with them?
Well, she tried to prepare us for certain events, but as far as the speaking, there was never no speaking events during high school. We did have speaking classes after high school, learn how to speak publicly, which really didn't work for me. But she did teach us etiquette. I still remember during high school we had I think the same dinner event that we had at the Marriott. We were actually taught about etiquette manners at the table, and how to use the multiple forks and the spoons, and how not having elbows on the table. Something that, believe it or not, a lot of us, didn't have at home. How many people have a 5-course meal at home? We're lucky a couple of noodles is what we get.
Yeah.
Hot Cheetos.
Did you learn how to interact by watching her interact with others?
No. Initially, no, because a lot of the interaction that she would have with others was behind closed doors. Or I wouldn't say behind closed doors, but it was outside of the school. I learned from her after high school. Okay. As I started going to different events, or I was invited to some of these events, especially like the fundraising events, then I really got to see her in action. And that's, I think, I learned from watching. It wasn't like she said, hey, watch me, I'm going to show you. But just watching her interaction, her eye contact, her gestures, her mannerisms, her tone of voice, it showed me how to really control a crowd, how to control people, and that actually has benefited me to this day. It allows me to get a lot of stuff done as far as networking, even to this day.
In what ways, if any, did Ms. G take action to provide access to resources?
Brought in jobs, brought in computers, technology, pedagogy, textbooks.
Was it through the creation of programs?
Yeah, I guess you could say it was a creation of a program, because the curriculum she was teaching was not. I don't think it was the standard-based curriculum that she was supposed to be teaching. So she kind of did create her own program, and which led her to bring in different resources.
Mm-hmm. Do you think she used the Freedom Riders as an engine to bring resources?
I don't know. I think she actually brought resources and to have the Freedom Riders. I see it the other way around. We wouldn't have Freedom Riders without the resources.
Was it by intervening and or defending student rights?
Both. Yeah, she did both. She intervened by defending our rights. She intervened by saying, hey, they deserve an equal opportunity just like everybody else. Freedom riders, or at that time we were still not freedom riders. She was saying we were not dumb kids. As some of the teachers made it seem like we were like the dumb class. So she intervened. She made sure that we got the same education, if not probably even a better education. She created an equal playing ground for us.
Right.
And by defending our rights, saying, this is what they deserve. This is what the school needs to provide, or the district needs to provide.
Can you provide examples of collaborations that Ms. G made with other people to provide support?
Oh yeah, at the high school level, she reached out to some of the teachers that were very supportive and created kind of like a cohorts where we would have the same teachers that were supportive of the Freedom Riders. So everybody was on the same page. So we actually started getting, was more towards the 11th grade. We were getting a lot of support. One teacher that comes to mind was Mr. Hall, who was I wouldn't call him a fan of the Freedom Riders, but he was very supportive of the Freedom Riders, and he was a teacher, and he was actually one of the ones that took me underneath his wing and went above and beyond. He asked me, he actually signed me up to a 0 period without my consent, because he knew that I was missing the credit and I needed to get the support. And he wouldn't take no slack, but he was very supportive. He was another cheerleader. I saw him like a big brother. So he was bringing in people. She also was, I don't know how she pulled this one off. She managed to get the superintendent to jump sides, and the superintendent was also very supportive. Dr. Carl Cohen, and he was another big fan of what Erin was doing with the Freedom Riders. So he was also always collaborating, and whenever she needed something for the program, he would be one of the first ones to be supportive. John too, who brought in some of the computers for us to be using, or donated a whole class set of computers, something that we didn't have at that time. Those are just some to name out in the beginning, but even after high school, she started bringing in people from the universities, from Cal State Long Beach, and then started bringing in people from Long Beach City College as well to help us out and teach some of the courses that we needed. So she also was able to find professors that were interested in teaching the Freedom Riders as well.
Tell me about the influence that Ms. G had on your academic plans and career goals.
None. She really didn't influence anything in my career goals. My initial career goal was to be an electrician. Mm-hmm. So when I was in high school, I was taking electrical courses as my elective, and I really found that fascinating. I really enjoyed it. So right out of high school, I met somebody through another work, and actually was given the opportunity to become an electrician, making great money at a very young age. How I ended up switching careers to what I do now was through volunteer work. I started volunteering, and I started realizing that there was, despite of what we had gone through, you think that you graduate from high schools and the problems of society are gone. But through my volunteer work, I started realizing that there was a lot of other little students that were just like me, who were still going through the same issues that I had gone through. So I figured I wanted to pass the torch on. And the only way by doing that was by getting into the career of education, so I could really, engage with the students. But it was nothing that was really influenced by Erin.
What influence, if at all, did Ms. G have on you developing stronger relationships with resourceful people?
That taught me that when there's a lot of support out there, there's a lot of help out there, and the only way we could get things done is by collaborating with one another and going to the people that have the resources or that have the specific knowledges. So that actually was very influential, because that's something that I still practice to this day. I'm always trying to build partnerships with local communities and local stakeholders to benefit, my students as well. So that's something that influence has gone a long way.
Tell me about your relationship with Ms. G now.
I wouldn't even say we have a relationship, to be honest. I know she's there. Once in a while, we'll see each other, to do family events, which is maybe once a year, if that. Maybe a text here and there. But I feel like most of the times when I hear anything from her is because there's an event going on and she wants me to take part of, but not because she really wants to spend time with me, or just